Big star.
DJ.
Sorry, Denari.
From a harmless comment to two fanboys dueling it out underneath my comment section that I made a comment underneath a video that had nothing to do with Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, it's quite confusing. So let me just explain that real quick. I made a comment underneath one of my favorite YouTube channels, MMO YouTube channels video. It was talking about the next upcoming MMO that's supposed to be coming out. And I made a comment saying, no other MMORPG touching Final Fantasy XIV right now. I mean, the damn head of Final Fantasy XIV will be a playable Camille in Noah 2. Yes, he will be a playable Camille. Basically, you can run around looking like Yoshi P in Noah 2. They have gotten the approval, and that will be a thing. So, that prompted some response when I made that comment. Somebody commented underneath there, to be honest, for me, that game is really boring because there is no open world PvP, sieges, PvP, dungeons, and game is pretty slow. They just have to add some PvP action. Now, he said PvP dungeons. Like, back when I played Terra, there was PvP during boss fights, rallies, and shit like that. So I guess you want to beat on other players while they're fighting a world boss or some shit like that. Maybe that's what they mean. Yeah, that's probably what they mean. Anyways, underneath that is the person in question. The Elder Scrolls Online fanboy makes his entrance right here. His or her. I don't care. Okay? I don't care if you describe yourself as alien. But this person here, I like ESO better, to be honest. And then I basically commented something about, like, I stayed away from ESO because I didn't like the character creation and I didn't like the gameplay. And then that person then responded back to me, you're lost in. Game is fun as hell and has a lot of content to go through. Fun, PvP, and the best PvE in MMOs right now. I want you guys to know that I captured that. Even though he edited, I captured that. I screen captured that. Because this person ends up going toe to toe with a Final Fantasy XIV fanboy or girl. Okay, so let's remember that. So here enters the Final Fantasy XIV fandom. We want sources for that because Final Fantasy XIV is supposedly right now the best PvE wise game. Then the person clapped back at him, literally clapped back. I never said that it had the best PvE, but you did, sir. But you did. But that the PvE was fun and it had the best PvP in MMOs. Learn to read first off, and second off, it all comes down to opinion. There's plenty of people who say the PvE in Final Fantasy is boring and repetitive once you get to the end. But I haven't seen those complaints in Elder Scrolls Online, given vets are difficult to do at top level of play no matter what gear you have or specs you have. I'm assuming that he's saying that content scales up with you and it just gets more difficult as you play through, I guess. To me, Final Fantasy, there was a mistake there. But Final Fantasy XIV is stale once you get to the end, and a waste of time given PvP isn't that fun either. And the raids are brain dead, etc. And ESO has all the teleplay value you could ask for. So he basically says that getting to the end game of Final Fantasy XIV is a waste. There's no PvP, it sucks, and doing the raids, I mean, it's brain dead. Brain dead raid bosses is what he's saying. I guess this person probably has never played Savage mode or Extreme mode and shit like that. Probably wasn't that type of person or had people he could play with. The combat is smooth as well, and you need to be very skilled to be able to complete tasks at the highest levels of PvP and PvE. It's not a comparison to me. Wow. So that's exactly what that person feels like. And then I believe there was another comment here. I basically came in and said, he also commented underneath there. There's a reason that ESO has been the second most played MMO for years on in behind World of Warcraft. They're obviously doing something right. I'm sure just as many people appreciate their PvE more in ESO, and it's not even worth mentioning how much better the PvP is in game. But alas, this is all subjective, and no sources could be brought up with concrete data for either being better. Okay, so this person, the Final Fantasy XIV fandom fanboy girl, said, I'm not hating on your game, just doubting it's the best MMO PvE wise out there. Let's make a deal that Final Fantasy XIV and ESO can share the second place together. First might still be just WoW, though their bad time with BFA expansion, it's still uncompromisingly the best game because it has both PvE, PvP content with a good storyline. Alright. And me personally, I had to jump in myself and tell the dude straight up, the Final Fantasy XIV community would have your head for stating that. If you was to make a video saying everything you just typed, they would come at you full force. I know personally because I made some controversial videos talking about Final Fantasy XIV, and the community came at me and forced to the point where I had to moderate comments in my comment section. Literally. Now, if you look at my Final Fantasy XIV videos, you won't see comments. I have to literally manually approve comments if you haven't noticed. And so that person responded back to me and said, I'm sorry guys, this is like going to be a long video, so I have to record this all the way through. So he responded back to me. They are fanatical, but that doesn't mean their game doesn't have flaws. Their content is super easy. The story is good, but takes forever to get through. And a lot of grinding, and there's nothing for you when you reach pretty much the end game. Like me, I reached the end, the content got stale, and people just focus on fashion. He ain't lying. People are focused on fashion. The same problems with Warframe. But we know that it's not an MMO. So I do get the point, dude. I get the point. ESO has a story right on par with Final Fantasy XIV narrative-wise. But the content scales and does get harder as you go. It's a casual game given the content scales to you, and you could explore all areas at any level. People are very helpful. The combat has you in movement 24/7 and very fun. The PvP is in another stratosphere compared to damn near every MMO out there. He's saying it's in another stratosphere compared to damn near? So I'm trying to figure out, is he comparing it to like the PvP in Black Desert Online or the PvP in Terra and shit like that? Like, because the PvP over there is action combat. It's dope as hell. But anyways, I'm gonna say he wanted to say, I just don't see any downsides really. The dungeons are even beautiful to look at, and there isn't a dumb subscription model either. I mean, I don't know too much of all I can say is that he said what he had to say. Basically, at the end of it all, he basically didn't like how the other person made it seem like Final Fantasy XIV was above Elder Scrolls Online, and that's why he got combative. I didn't actually screen capture the rest of that. I just basically kept telling him, dude, look, make a video saying what you typed here in this comment section today and see what happens to you. Find out. You will find out the hard way like I did. You know, you don't poke at, a MMO's fandom like that, because they will come at you. But that about does it for this video. This video is 8 minutes long, and I hate making long videos. It's your boy Legacy. You guys have a good night or morning. I actually captured these as the final comments between them. It seems like things heated up even more. I am not going to read through all this, so you guys have to take time and read through it yourselves. Pause the video and read through it, because this video is already 9 minutes long. It's going to be 9 minutes plus, maybe even 10 now. I'm not going to read through all of it. So you guys have fun with that.
next number, I'd like to return to the classics.